Let's animate our character Stan jumping into the scene and then running off. Okay, so let's set up our new project and our new scene. So new project, and we'll call this a jump, Stan jump, and we'll append drawings, append inputs, append extras. Hit OK, and then create new scene, and we'll call this jump. And I'm just going to add tut to the end. Leave all this default and create scene. And one thing I forgot to mention earlier is you might want to go up to File, Preferences, and then turn off Enable to input cells without double clicking. I turn this off, okay, uncheck it. Because you could, when you click on a cell over here, a drawing, it will double click it automatically, like to rename it, and it's really frustrating. So just turn that off, and that prevents that. Okay, so let's start a new level, and we're going to create a Toonz raster level, and we'll call this rough. Let's call it rough jump. Hit OK. Hit yes, and we'll rename this RJ for rough jump. Okay, and let's create a new brush and go down to raster. Let me move myself. Okay, so over here, go to raster, and then we'll go down to 2B pencil. Right here, click that, and click our brush, and my size is set to 0.5, and then we should be ready to go. So let me move myself back. There we go. We're going to start with just our key poses, okay? And so we're gonna have, oh, before I start, I did some more thumbnails of Stan, and here he is. Just standing around. Here he is kind of like floating. Here he is over here angry. Here he is. And so I did this page, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. It's him jumping in, squashing down, and jumping off, like off screen. Oh, I'm so turned around. And him jumping off screen. And so I thought maybe today we could do him coming in, jumping, but then ending up in this run, and he'll run off screen, okay? And so if we plan it out, we can do it just fine. Okay, so let's go back to OpenToonz, and we will start with our first drawing. So he's going to come in. He's going to come in like this, and try to think of like parts dragging, like his nose is going to drag a little, and his hair, and he's kind of like like maybe he just jumped off of something kind of high, you know, like high up in the air, so he's like, whoa. Okay, get that center line, maybe this foot coming down, and maybe the back leg hasn't touched the ground yet, so it's still coming up like this. Okay, and maybe his arms, he's like, whoa, you know. Just try to stay loose, keep it rough. You know, we could even just do circles. I just want to try to get his shoulders up somewhat, you know, like this. And then maybe his hands are in fists, like this. Okay. Try not to get too bogged down with the drawing. Let's just move on to the second drawing. So let's move our ends, this little end marker. Let's scoot that all the way down to, like, say 29. Okay. we'll go to frame 2 and can turn on onion skinning. And I want to do a reverse shape of his body, okay? So right here it's kind of more like a C shape. And so when he comes down here, we can kind of bend it. Maybe we could bend it this direction. And then really get like a squash in here, you know. He's really squashing down. And his feet look really big, don't they? So let's scoot him over. Oh, so you feel that? He's squashing down. So he went from this to squash. And then we can get his head. And I'm looking at my drawings I did on paper just for reference. So let's get his nose. His eyes are squint. He's like, you know, maybe his head is. I do this a lot. I'll cut parts and then rotate it or move it based on like what I'm feeling at the time. So like maybe his arms are up here like this. Okay. So I'm trying to find poses that read pretty well. And so I do a lot of searching. So like maybe this elbow is up. That looks weird. So let's try it. Let's try it out here. I don't like that either. Okay, so let's just put it right in between his head and that other arm. We'll just stick it right in there. I kind of like that, okay? And then he'll shoot off. So let's go to drawing 3, and he's gonna come up here, and maybe his arms are driving the action. So we could do, you know, we could do a stretch right here. Okay, so maybe his arms are driving the motion like this, pushing up. He's a little long for my liking, so I'm gonna chop him down a little like this. Okay, and then so now we need to get him into the run section. Okay, so we could go drawing 4, and we could just do you know, something like not even worrying about getting him into the run yet. We'll just set up the run pose. So like he's happy, you know, he's looking forward. And this could be the first contact pose. Where his foot is contacting the ground. Okay. So I'm not even right now just worrying about like where he is in space. I just want to get this drawing in, okay? So this could be something like this. That's his contact pose. And since this leg is forward, let's do this arm back. This and this arm. We'll just do it forward like this. Okay. A little bit of cleanup. Okay, he got a little bigger, so let's shrink him down. Okay, so now I want to try to imagine where he is going to land. If his body does this arc, you know, he comes up and then maybe his run starts like right here. Okay. And then he'll do his run off screen. And so we could have, like on frame 5, we could touch somewhere on here to create a blank drawing. Erase that little dot we made. Go back to here. We could cut this or copy it. And go to frame 5 and paste. And put him over like this. Just to kind of get an idea of where he might be running to. Like that could be the opposite foot hitting the ground. You know, like I think we could erase his arms and draw that new arm here, and then draw his back arm back here like this, and then we could switch these legs around. Okay, so now that's his back leg. Okay. So this is more kind of like a layout, and you know, when he jumps up here, so I need a drawing in between here and here, right? Between 3 and 4. So let's insert a blank keyframe, a blank frame, and that moves our drawing 4 and 5 down a frame, okay? And that lets us draw a new drawing on 4. Okay. You see that? So now in here we can start drawing like maybe his head is already up in this smile, you know, kind of like this drawing right here. So maybe he's kind of looking down to where he's gonna land, you know. And we can hold off on the hair until, you know, we get an idea of what's going on. So he could come up into this. And maybe this leg is up here like this. The left leg, because it's going to start coming down first. And maybe the back leg is still dragging. We'll see if that works. Oh, okay. Maybe his nose, we'll draw his nose in here. And his arms, we'll need to get the arms coming back. So we could have this one come like this. And this one's gonna come forward, so let's just keep it up here a little longer. And it will just kind of come down like this, kind of like elbow first, you know. Okay. Okay, so now let's do a label contact on, this is drawing 5 at frame 5. So let's, it automatically auto renumbered. That's nice. Okay, so now we need a drawing, we need to do in-betweens and breakdowns for all this. Okay, so let's just start from 1 to 2. So let's insert a frame, and we'll do 1, and we'll do a drawing in between these two. Okay, so like maybe the foot, boom, his foot slaps down like this. His hips are already at that bottom position, and his body is starting to bend. Okay, let's get his legs in here. And this other foot, this back foot, maybe it's still, like it's just on the contact pose. Okay, like that. And maybe his arms, they're coming in and down like this. Actually, I want them to swoop up. So I want to try to get the arms to go in kind of like that arc. Okay, we'll see if we can make that happen. So the arms could drag, and by dragging I mean like if you flip between these two, do you see that hand favoring this previous drawing? Okay, so that's allowing it to drag behind a bit. And like the head, it could drag as well. And the nose can drag, and he's, you know, he's still like, ah. Okay, that arm was getting a little long, but I do like how you kind of rotate and come out like this. Okay. Get this arm. If we can do something like this. Okay, so now let's get drawing. We'll clean up that a little. Okay, so I'm just taking it one drawing at a time. So now let's get a drawing in between 3 and 4. Okay, so let's create space, insert a key, and so now we're going to do drawing 4. Okay, so he's coming up like this. We could stretch out his head a little more. Okay, we could drag his nose, and his eyes have already opened like this. Ah, okay, and then coming up, and his arms are driving the motion. Okay. Stretch out his body a little more. We can get his, maybe bend his toes are still on the ground right here. So if you're flipping and things feel weird, go back, erase it, and redraw it, okay? So let's go. Jumps up. Okay, so I want another drawing in between here because I want to ease into this drawing and ease out of it before he does his contact pose. Okay, let's go in between here. These two drawings from where he's taking off and now he's up in the air, and let's get a drawing in here. I'm going to kind of favor this drawing right here where he's up. Maybe his nose is dragging a little. Okay. Let's get a drawing in between 7 and 8. So I'm just kind of going through. I'm going to favor this because I want him to ease out of that jump. The apex of the jump. And he's already smiling. Just keep flipping, and I left out this arm. Let's draw that arm in there. And now let's do a drawing in between here. Okay, so here, let's make this our new contact pose. I kind of like it better than this one. So I'm going to delete number 10, and this will be our down. Okay, so here's his foot coming up, his back foot. And then here, this will be his run. This is part of his run, but it's the down pose like this. Okay, that makes sense. I just made this the new contact pose because it just felt more dynamic and I liked it better. And since his body's coming down, his nose will be dragging up, and his hair will be dragging up. Body's getting a little wide in here, so let's slim him down. Okay, and see how this one feels really weird? So we're just going to delete that one. Okay, so this is, now he's, oh, it's auto saving. So now he's into his run. So like this could be his push off pose. And sometimes that happens. You just get into it and things start changing. You know, like Let's try to stay a little more on model here. This is him coming up. Okay. That feels really weird. Okay. So this leg has already started to come forward. Maybe his toes are dragging some. And then let's do a drawing after 11. And this will be it's up like this. And maybe maybe this puts back like this. Okay, let's just hit play and see where we're at. And let's move our stop marker up to 12. Okay, it's getting there. It's really quick. Let's try and put everything on 2s and see how it feels. Okay. Okay, he definitely got bigger in size, but that's okay. We can fix that. And I like him up in the air on 2s. That's pretty cool. But when he lands and takes off running, I feel like that could be faster, you know? So let's, instead of shrinking all of these down, because I feel like I started getting a lot more loose with the drawings and stuff, let's make these bigger. And if you want, you could do a line, like go to the first drawing, or where he contacts right here. This could be the ground plane, and it's probably a good idea to do that at the beginning. So now what we can do is on this second drawing where we drew that ground plane, we can go to the far left and click a dot, and it makes an onion skin. But we can see it over no matter what frame we're on. Okay, it's like a permanent onion skin type thing. So then we can see if he's landing on the ground. Yep, I see that makes more sense, like that. Okay. Minor adjustments here. Try to get more of a spacing on that. There we go. So on the, I'm looking at the foot coming down, so it's going to hit there, and then he's going to squash down here and start taking off here, and then end up here. This maybe. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now we can turn that original onion skin off. And there we go. Okay, I'm gonna erase that line. I don't think I need it anymore. Okay, and at this point we could mess with timing. Okay, so let's try that. As he comes down, let's set this to on 1s. So I just took out that blank keyframe. So it's a drawing on 1, drawing on 2, and I'm going to hold that for 2 frames. Come down, definitely hold that for 2 frames. but when he comes up, let's just hold that one for 1. So now we're working on 1s and 2s, okay? So 5, let's take that out. So that's on 1s. Okay, so 1, 1, 1, and we'll hold that on 2 because I want to do another drawing in there to 7. We'll do another drawing to 8, and then we'll do another drawing before 9, and let's see how it feels now. Do you feel that? It's a little more snappy. It's like boing. Okay, so now let's auto renumber this. So select the little side of all your drawings and auto renumber. And you can also right click and auto renumber right here. Okay, so as we come down, let's do all of our in between. So I'm just going to go through and do drawings, just kind of smooth it out, but not on everything. Like some things I want on 2s, I want to keep on 2s, just because I like that feeling of it. Okay, let's just see. Let's see how it goes. I'll start with this drawing 3 down to here. Okay, so as I'm animating along, I went to auto renumber everything, and you see how it says like 6A, 12A, 15A? Well, I'll show you how to get rid of that, okay, and just get it back to 15. So what I do is I go to drawing, and then I scroll down through my drawings. So let's see, I want to keep 6A, but 6 I'm going to delete. So I'm going to right click and cut. Okay, and then I'll go down to my next one. 15A is the one I want to keep. So on frame 15, this drawing, I'm going to right click, cut, and let's see if there's any more. Okay, so now let's go back to our main room, and we will click this little sidebar, right click, auto renumber, or you can hit your little shortcut up here, and it should get everything to match. Okay, I missed one, 12A. So let's go back to drawing, go down to 12, find 12A, and I want to cut this drawing 12. Okay, so let's do cut, go back, click, auto renumber. Okay, so now we're back in sync. Okay, so let me show you where I'm at so far. I'm gonna hit play. Again, this is just the rough. Like, see on this one I didn't even draw the face yet. Okay, and I'm on 1s, so I have one drawing for every frame. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do a few more drawings before this first frame, and so I'm going to insert a frame and just click on my canvas to make a mark. And so what I'm going to do is take this first drawing and I'm going to cut it and paste it to the second frame right here. Okay, so now that leaves my first drawing blank. So now what I'm going to do is go in here and draw, and then I'm gonna scoot this up. Okay, so this is him coming into that initial land. Okay, and this will just give him a little more time on screen before he lands. And if we wanted to, hold a blank screen, we could grab everything and drag it down a few frames. We'll say we'll start everything on frame 9. Okay, and I'll give just a few frames of blank screen before he comes dropping in. Okay, and don't forget to extend your end marker out. Okay, now I'm gonna move like this, just so you can see where I'm at over here in my timeline. Okay, so now let's just get him off screen. Okay, so this is his run of his up. So now he's gonna start coming down. Okay, so this is what mine came out looking like. And don't be afraid to go in and, you know, experiment. Like, so I have one drawing for every frame, but we could go in here and, like, you know, when he's up here, he's reached this apex. So let's do that on 2s. And when he comes down for the run and up here, let's try that on 2s and just see what it feels like. Okay, so maybe I'll take one of those out, like maybe this one. Okay, so I'm going to get mine back on 1s. Okay, and you can do that. You can click the sidebar and click 1s, or right click and just change everything back to 1s. Okay, and I found that like faster actions work best on 1s, like where he comes in really fast, and then slower stuff it can go on 2s. Like we could try 2s in here. See how that feels. Yeah, I kind of like that. He kind of cushions in and then springs out. That's kind of cool. So yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, so it's a journey. It's a process. Just stick with it and stay loose. Have fun. This is the rough animation pass. So until next time, happy animating, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.